Today he can be found, sometimes, at Handmaid's maze of tiny offices in this house in Knightsbridge. Here, in one of the very few television interviews Harrison has given since way back in the Beatles days, he explained the types of film he champions with Handmaid and the agreeably casual way he keeps an eye on his risky multi-million-pound business.
Well, my role is I pop in and out, I hear what's happening day to day, I make any suggestions I can, and I can choose. I'm in a lucky position, really, because I'm not trying to be David Putnam. That is to say, I don't have to be there every day taking care of the business.
Would you stop a film if you didn't like the script?
I think I've already stopped a few that I didn't, but I don't know. They may be lurking in Dennis's desk still, but, you know, there was a film about Picasso which I wasn't very keen to do, basically because as an ex-Beatle we've had so many docudramas done about us that when I read this thing about Picasso, I'd like to know, well, how come... In fact, I said it to the fellow who, the scriptwriter, how come you know that on February the 26th, Picasso caught syphilis in, you know, well, maybe there's certain things that may be true, but he has a family that's left there, you know? I mean, with the Beatles, they did it, they didn't even wait for us to die before making these daft films, but I think I'd like to be comedy more than, you know, I don't like the idea of films that exploit war or whatever, for instance, like Killing Fields, I saw.
You didn't like that?
And also the phoniness involved with, you know, makeup, you know, could we have more blood on the babies? You know, that kind of thing I'd like to personally avoid. I don't think there's any need. There's enough blood on babies as it is without film studios adding more to it. So basically I would like to keep to comedy or films that have some sort of hope, you know, rather than the depression. So I said, I don't know, as a Python fan, I'd certainly like to see it made. I asked my manager, can you think of how to get them the money? And he came back to me in a week. He said, I think I know how we could do it. We'll be the producers. And so we mortgaged all our companies and everything, borrowed the money from the bank and did it. And fortunately, you know, it made the money back, at least. I think we actually made some money on that, which then went in towards Time Bandits, which was the Python spin-off of Terry Gilliam's.
Which did even better.
So we originally started just as the one-off, but then I think Dennis sort of liked the idea. You know, I thought, hey, this film business sounds good. So, you know, I just sort of rolled along with it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being more involved in film, but not particularly like that. I don't want to be a star. I've been offered, after the Beatles films, you know, and through the late 60s, I was offered all kinds of crazy parts, the White Swami and, you know, all these sort of crazy things. But I don't want to be a film star. I don't even want to be a pop star. I just want to, you know, live in peace. But I would like to be more involved in some way, and that is to say that I would like to get more of my ideas onto film, that is, more ideas against killing and against blood and against noisy madness. I'd like to go and see a film that actually made you come out of the theatre feeling very joyous and happy. And I don't know exactly what that film is, but I may end up making my own 8mm, which I'll show you.
Because you have appeared publicly so little, people have talked about you as being a recluse these days. Is that fair?
It's silly. The only... excuse me. I don't go to places where Bam Baz Big Boy goes or where Nigel Dempster goes, or I just don't go to those discos and things like that. They make out as if I never leave the house. I go out the house all the time. I just try and live a life of a normal human being. If I have a hit record, they're all knocking on the door again, phoning me up, you know, so I don't particularly want to be that side. I've had that concentrated in the 60s and early 70s. I've done that, and it's boring, you know. And I like to live sort of quiet life, so therefore they think I'm this Howard Hughes with fingernails down to my toes. But it's quite a good image. I don't mind it now.
It doesn't upset you that people write about you like that?
It used to annoy me, but it doesn't.